Welcome to The Print. The NDA has sealed a landslide victory with Chief Minister Nitish Kumar set to secure a fifth consecutive term as the latest trend showed the alliance winning 209 out of 243 seats. We have with us Yashwant Deshmukh, founder director of CVoter, to decode the results for us. So the first question, how do you see these results?
Well, historic and game changer. I would say that this is a watershed moment, and we have been kind of indicating this in our tracker for long, that if women actually come out in larger number, then it is going to underline the fact that for the first time, the generational policies will yield into electoral outcome. As Nitish Kumar started about something 20-25 years back, giving bicycles and the scholarship and the poshak, and the same school-going girl who is now a young and middle-aged mother, and then now trying to become an entrepreneur and run her family. That connection is so very different, and that cuts across caste and everything. And I just received the file actually, as I'm talking to you, the post-poll weighted file actually, which is waiting for, and which would explain. So there is about 3% lead that I can see as far as the male voter is concerned, but there is a staggering 16% lead for Nitish Kumar over Tejasvi Yadav among the female voters. Now compare that, 3 to 4 among the male and 16% on the female side. I mean, it's in rounded off favor, it's almost like 43 to 46 in favor of NDA as far as male is concerned. So, Tejasvi Yadav and his alliance has actually polled 43% of the male. But look at the female, it is only 33. And it's like almost the other side is almost 50% plus, So what I'm simply trying to say is the sheer gap of this gender equationing, where not only the females have come out in a larger number than the males, but they have come out in such a decisively one way to Nitish Kumar and his alliance. Why I am saying Nitish Kumar? Because yes, it is his vote bank, it is his legacy, this thing. Yes, Prime Minister Modi has equally good commanding popularity among Bihari voters, but this thing is something which Nitish Kumar has cultivated, this relationship over the last two decades or more, and this is his mandate. So Prime Minister understands it, the BJP rank and file understands this, and this is why Nitish Kumar was the first engine in the two-engine sarkar and in the campaign. They tried in the political side of not doing that for some reason, some time, but then the moment they realized it is not going their way unless Nitish Kumar is in the front, that very moment they changed the track and they kept him in the front, and that has got delivered. So it is a watershed moment. Honestly, from here onward, I believe any serious politician across India in any state who wants to actually look into 25-year long political career would like to focus on a generational policy and have the patience that, okay, don't go for, and by the way, I have always maintained I do not consider anything that is given to female voter as a revenue culture or the part of Labharti. No, big no. Because of a simple reason.
The Jivika Didi, the entire controversy also over that. Yes.
Yeah. So all said and done, I mean, I know when I'm saying this that cash given to males, for example, we know where it will go, right? Majority of them, I don't even want to say it. That's the bottom line. That's the fact. Cash given to male is basically going down the drain into something or the other. Very rarely it will go back into something constructive, positive for the society. Cash given to females inertly will go, first of all, for the welfare of her family, education, medical needs, entrepreneurship, and it comes back to society in a very, very positive way. Even if it is used to clear some pending loans, it is still circulating in the economy. It doesn't go down the booze and gambling and other things, which unfortunately a big chunk of the male freebie population might like to do. When we ask the female population in our tracker after this 10,000 scheme that did you get it? Huge majority said yes. What are you going to use it for? Almost 6 out of 10 said they are going to use to start a small business. Now, can you imagine that kind of a change? 60%. I mean, if you are giving a loan to 1 crore, giving this money to 1 crore female, suppose I'm just giving you an example, 60 lakhs saying that we are going to use it to some kind of enterprise. Even if half of them get successful, 30 lakh, 3 million entrepreneurs creating just out of one scheme, and it will spark other women to do that. But more importantly, the thing is, they did it by crashing all the age-old equations of the caste-bound and religion-bound bigotry. They did it by going against their family. How is it possible? There is a, say, 3% lead among male and 16% lead among female. How is it even possible that that they will not do it? I mean, they didn't do it going beyond their families, going beyond their family equations. So obviously, the thing worked in their favor. Obviously, there are ways to look around the things, things to learn around this mandate. If Bihar and Bihari women can go beyond caste arithmetic, so can the women of the rest of the India states as well. It's easier for them actually. If Bihari women can have that kind of guts and courage to leave their family equations behind and go and vote out for something like this, then it's easier for other women in the rest of the country.
Right. Many also argue that, going forward, this is only going to sort of, encourage freebies culture in politics and elections.
Well, I disagree. Freebie culture would have been encouraged if for example, Tejasvi Yadav would have won, or that would have done a good deal of putting unemployment into center stage. I agree with that, because that's the biggest source of concern for huge majority of Indians in India in all our trackers and all our Mutil poll. But the problem was the solution that he was trying to give, one sarkari naukri in each family. That was an absolutely unsustainable, disastrous solution for the fiscal matters, right? And here you are looking at something which is encouraging female to become entrepreneurs, create more jobs, more. Basically, it will generate something which will increase the economy, come back into the economy, right? While sarkari naukri is nothing but bleeding of the economy, because it will be only giving money for nothing. We all know that, right? So while Tejasvi Yadav winning might have brought the issue of unemployment in the center stage, but the solution that he was trying to give would have been a complete disaster. While this one, if at all, the bicycle yojana, the Poshak yojana, basically a continuous investment in women education, women empowerment, that is something which is no way Labharti yojana, I can say so, and I have been having this discussion round and off with your colleague, even Ruhi. She has written a wonderful book, on female voters. And when I said that, she messaged that you are absolutely right. I mean, this is so condescending that, to think of it in a very, very male parochial way that, okay, money given to female, why? And that clip got so viral of, I think, Saurabh Dwivedi, where one voter was so upset कि हमारे account में पैसा नहीं आया. He asked if your wife goes out, कैसे जाएगी? 20 लाख मारेंगे, बंद कर देंगे. The kind of mentality. I think the more that Bihar women would have seen that viral clip, the more enraged they must be and the more empowered they must be to come out and vote something which their male counterparts don't believe in. That is thinking beyond the caste line, thinking beyond the religious line, and going out and vote what is the right thing to do, what is the correct thing for them, rather than an emotive issue. They have voted for the real issue.
Right. The opposition had also raised the issue of vote chori, and questions were raised on the SIR. It seemed like, going by the results, they seem to have had no traction on ground.
It was never having any traction whatsoever. Even our trackers in all that, whenever we asked, the SIR thing was not really giving any traction. It was giving traction only to the fact that, okay, somebody was ground, Rahul Gandhi was in the ground, and people got excited, his workers got excited, opposition. So it was not SIR, it was just basically, if you do a Padyatra on it, he has done the Bharat Jodo Padyatra, it gave benefit to him. So if you are on the ground, it will benefit you. But just being on the ground is not good enough. Being consistently on the ground is what it pays. At some point of time, somebody has to, in his circle, has to stand up and tell him Katihar Yatra is more important than Columbia Yatra. You just cannot go to some other corner of the world where people do not know in Bihar what the country is where you are going and leave the campaign midway like that. No, it's not done. So I think SIR was bound to fail simply because, first of all, the flag was gone. Everybody knew the voters which were chopped down were died or were not living there. So nobody kind of objected to anything because everybody knew every booth, this booth, that booth, everywhere that flag was gone. Everybody checked for their own vote. So you did not see, even forget about 80 lakh people being chopped, not even 80 people were on the ground saying, Ki hamara naam kat gaya. And this is what I have been consistently maintaining about all the campaign done on SIR, ki naam kata kahan hai, kiska kata hai? You are screaming on the top of the voice that 80 lakh people have been disfranchised. Are mara hua aadmi kaise disfranchised hoga bhai? How can a dead man be disfranchised? How can a man who is shifted to some other state and being in the voter list, some other can be disfranchised? So this was a completely flawed. There are 100 ways of vote chori. You might have campaigned well. You could have figured a better investigative way to figure out what else they are doing and what should not be done. Money matters and everything. That's fine. You could have done a campaign on Suit Boot ki Sarkar also. That would have probably worked you better. But this is not going to work because everybody checked their name was there, then they were happy. They came out in record numbers to vote. So how the hell did it work? The problem is it did not work. The bigger problem is they will double down on this. I'm predicting you. They will not realize that it has not worked. They will double down on this entire campaign. They will go further personal against some individual in some institution. How does that personal attack help? How does it help? You of the people did appoint somebody like Naveen Chawla to Election Commission. How do you think people are not going to recollect that? And besides, what is it that you had against these gentlemen who are running ECI? The three people, you were painting target on their back by naming them in the public rally, by naming their family members in public rally. Your social media campaign were bringing in his daughter, Ganesh Kumar's daughter. How is that going to help? I mean, basic logical question, forget about everything. That gentleman is heading the CEC right now, right? He's the CEC. He's going to remain there for some time because you cannot impeach him. You don't have the numbers in the parliament, right? Fair enough. Now, that man is going to preside this election commission through one of the most important transitional periods. That is the census, delimitation, and 33% reservation for women. This is going to be the most important transition in the election system that we are watching for. And if suppose one nation, one election also creeps in during his own term. So basically you are taking a personal fight against a person who is going to go through this entire thing. And what do you have against him? He was from Kerala cadre. He has worked with your chief minister. BJP is not even present in Kerala. So what I'm simply trying to say, you are trying to dislodge, say, pull down the trustworthiness of the process of the institution and then individuals first. Is that helping you? And then the process is carried out. Have you ever seen better election managed in Bihar before this? Not a single act of violence, not a single repoll, not a single repoll. Nobody complained about their name being cut. And historic turnout, which by the way, thanks to Tejasvi, thanks to Prashant Kishore, thanks to Nitish Kumar, thanks to Modi, everybody kind of pulled in because the campaigns were run really intense. I would even give some credit to Rahul Gandhi for that. That at least he campaigned, but then at critical time he went away. So problem is that they are not going to realize that this did not work. They are probably going to, balki, मैं तो कहूंगा 200% knowing them how they go, they are going to double down on this campaign against election commission and vote chori. While what is happening? Your own alliance partner, we read the story, I think it was in print only if I'm not wrong, about DMK getting super excited and super ready for the SIR in Tamil Nadu. They have got their own app and digitally they are doing everything that they can to be SIR ready. So is TMC, so is Samajwadi Party. Everybody is getting SIR ready. Only you are not getting SIR ready because you do not have the infrastructure anymore on the ground.
Yeah, no, I was saying that we were talking about the opposition, especially the Congress. If you look at, the election outcome. It is probably one of their worst performances. And during seat sharing, we saw how they really bargained hard. What does it mean for the Congress, especially in a state like Bihar, where it has been trying to sort of stage a comeback of sort?
Well, I mean, as we talk about that, there are fundamental issues which I mean, which they have to realize and accept and concede, and that starts with conceding that they lost this election fair and square. Gracefully accepting and conceding this result, conceding these elections. That okay, we lost fair and square. That's it. That is not going to happen. I fear if that happens, thank you God that they do it. Otherwise, I fear that they will again raise the halla of vote chori, that this was done wrong, this mandate is wrong, and so on and so forth. So that is a possibility which I fear they might go that way. But apart from that, whichever issues they are working on, the way they are working on, and the rigidity that Rahulji has in that way of thinking about something, getting fixated with that, and not listening to probably others, if that thing is working or not. Now, female vote bank, for example, practically speaking, you tell me, if there is a very significant message that Madhya Pradesh gave, that Maharashtra gave about female voters, that you do something significant for female voters and they turn around an election for you. Why are the assets which are female campaigners not brought into the front? Why is Misa Bharti not given the chance to come in the front? If we know the limitation of Muslim Yadav MY equation, where is the MY plus? If the plus was coming to be the voter, and female voter, why not Misa Bharti? Why not Priyanka Gandhi coming in center stage? How many rallies did Priyanka Gandhi did in Bihar? You know the numbers, right? So I'm simply saying, when you are moving towards a situation and there is ample evidence now, and Bihar has kind of sealed it once and for all, that there is a vote bank called female vote bank that is 50% of India, and that female vote bank is not giving a damn to your old age, caste and religion equations. They are not voting on emotive issues. They are voting on the real issues, real development, real factors that works for them and the future generations. And here is what you need to tackle. How do you tackle? What are you doing about it? And please remind me again and again, then the day 33% seats are reserved, are you having enough female leadership with you to even contest 33% seats? Are you doing anything about it? I can tell you, regional parties are doing, BJP is doing, is Congress doing. What happened to Ladki Hu Lad Sakti Hu? Phenomenal campaign by Priyanka Gandhi. Akhilesh Yadav got benefited of that in the bipolarization, and that phenomenal campaign did help Congress in the 2024 Lok Sabha election to take the opposition numbers in Lok Sabha up in Lok Sabha, Uttar Pradesh. Where is that campaign now? How much is being done? So they need to look into the answers for it.
Right. And you mentioned Prashant Kishore and Jan Swaraj Party. What explains, the party's failure despite a sort of high profile campaign? And, what impact do you think it also had on the opposition's prospects, if at all?
Well, he had a lot of traction, by the way. We ourselves in our tracker kind of tracked this entire thing from 3% to about 21, 22, 23% in popularity rating. But we always maintain the popularity ratings are not votes. Be very clear. Because 7 out of his 10 supporters were coming from the NDA camp. And the moment you have a bipolarization like UP, even a Mayawati-like leader in BSP collapsed in UP when bipolarization happened. So obviously, the moment the bipolarization kicked in, the voters went back because they were on progressive, new hope, Bihar, everything is fine. There was fatigue with Nitish Kumar, but no anger with Nitish Kumar. And the moment they realized that Jan Swaraj candidate is not in the winning position, Prashant Kishore is not in the race, then the sheer fear of Jungle Raj coming back made the reverse gear and asked them to go back. Right. So this is what I think Jan Swaraj kind of rebooted the system in a way. There was a traction. but that traction converted into a fear factor by the time bipolarization happened, and then they made a reverse gear to going back to somebody who was in a better position to defeat the RJD and the Congress combined. I think that is what has happened. But if I were to advise Prashant Kishore, don't lose heart. I mean, I would say be there. I mean, you did something remarkable. You should be proud of yourself to run a campaign which was neither a political legacy nor a Bollywood legacy, nor something Jayaprakash Andolan and Anna Andolan legacy. You tried something new, and you reimagined, and you asked the youth of Bihar to reimagine Bihar. That itself kind of is a big achievement, I would say. So many people who might be more than happy to poo-poo him and kind of putting him in the dustbin. Good luck to you. But if he decides to continue in Bihar, imagine a scenario where the two stalwarts of Lalu Yadav and Nitish Kumar, who are quite aged and not in good health, eventualities will happen, and then who is the next kind of leadership? And then you realize that there would be a vacuum, and there would be a vacuum to be filled, and leadership vacuum. That's what I know in my 30 years of career. They never remain there. Public pulls out the leadership. The vacuum of leadership is never there for long. So if he remains there, he continues to work on the ground. I believe that he has a future, provided he remains there. Otherwise, he might simply say, it's not my cup of tea. I gave 2 years. I gave money. I tried my level best. But Biharis are Biharis. Thank you very much. I'm not going to work. If that happens, I feel sorry for him.
Right. You mentioned Nitish Kumar initially when you were talking about the election results. How do you see, Nitish Kumar as a force, as a brand, considering, from 2020 to now? There was a time when, in 2020, people were saying that BJP, it is because of BJP that at least JDU has done, a little better. The fact that LJP had, hurt them in terms of cutting votes on several seats. How do you see, this entire phenomena of Nitish Kumar?
Well, in the NDA pyramid, BJP is the base, and Nitish Kumar is the tip. Consider it from the demographics, consider it from the issues, But the thing is that without that tip, you are not a pyramid. You are a platform. So that's a problem. And it's been 25 years since the Samta Party days and the experiment. 30 years probably. Even before that, when they split the party, George Fernandez split the party, BJP somehow lacked the leadership, a pan-Bihar suitable leadership which could capture the public imagination, and they had to piggyback the popularity of Nitish Kumar for reeling. Then the issue of Kurmi Koiri Kushwaha happened, which by the way BJP did very smartly put in Samrat Chaudhary, who belongs to the same community. And he is young. So it's not without reason that Samrat Chaudhary was pulled out of nowhere and made the deputy chief minister. Because BJP is preparing for post-Nitish scenario that the goodwill of Nitish supporters should come BJP's way or the NDA's way, should remain their way. That's why BJP is doing all. That's why BJP will make sure that Nitish Kumar retires only when he feels like retiring. It will be on his terms. It will be on his when he feels like, health is not permitting and he feels like that. And that retirement will also come with a huge promotion of sort, at least in public display. He can never be demoted because BJP now has a double whammy that they cannot anger the female voters who will see like Nitish Kumar being humiliated or taken away in a different way. I genuinely believe that Modi and Amit Shah are not that kind of people who wouldn't know what kind of risk that brings in. So they will keep him. They will.
For now, I was just saying. So for now, Bihar is synonymous with Nitish Kumar.
For now, the Bihar has been just like 25 years synonymous with Nitish Kumar, and I believe that he has probably shown a way which many people will positively replicate. In that category, I actually keep two leaders. Although vibrant Gujarat and Mr. Modi's stint with Gujarat has been a brilliant one, which paved the way for him to become the Prime Minister. But at the end of the day, I always keep in mind that Gujarat was always what I call Samruddh Rajya, a much more wealthier state with a streak of entrepreneurship, not anybody Gujarati asking for a sarkari naukri. All right. So that is a state where vibrant Gujarat worked brilliantly. But Chandra Babu Naidu in United Andhra Pradesh and now in Andhra Pradesh, divided Andhra Pradesh as well, in a different way of developmental economy, and Nitish Kumar in a way of a very socialist economy. I would say they are the two very important examples of developmental politics. Unfortunately, Chandra Babu Naidu, thrice he came with NDA, one thrice he left the NDA and lost. So there was some political miscalculation which he did, and now he understands that well, that he also need in that case some kind of support and need from the BJP, though BJP is not a very big player in Andhra Pradesh, but somehow the alliance works better. Has to do also with the fact that N.T. Ramarao started his party TDP with a very loyal Hindu-based politics. You know, he was playing all mythological roles and like that, and then also the fact that in '98 the BJP polled almost 20% in United Andhra, and which it gave it on a platter to Chandrababu Naidu. So, in the long story short, these two gentlemen have shown the way how to do developmental politics, how to do a progressive politics and win elections. If others need to learn, let them learn. If the new category of leaders learn from them, I would see that that's a very happy place to observe politics in India. And force multiplier this in the entire thing is the better half of India. That is the best half of India. That is the female votes, I would say. It's a watershed. Take it from I think politics is going to change forever in India after this.
Right. Well, what do these results mean to the BJP in Bihar and nationally? You know, as also to PM Modi, you know, amid suspense over the, you know, BJP president's choice, and in the backdrop of the party's sort of performance in Haryana, Maharashtra, and Delhi, as well as, you know, nationally.
I mean, they are back. I mean, whatever the blip in the radar that 2024 election was, that blip in radar also came from the states where they were strongest in. Uttar Pradesh, who would have thought? Rajasthan, with a 10% margin of vote share, who would have thought that seat will come in different? So basically the infighting, non-performing of MPs and all those kind of things which they could not manage. And that was a blip in radar. And everybody started talking, oh, gaya, khatam ho gaya, you know, it's done, dusted. And then Nada's statement about RSS and everything after that, Sangam Sharanam Gachami. And then Sangam says that, okay, we are there for you. And then Maharashtra happens and this happened and now Bihar happens. So I believe that for the BJP, organizational is the key, number one, to keep good relationship with their alliance partners where they do not have a face and keep a respectful relationship is what a lesson for them, which they have learned. I won't say it is a lesson to learn. Actually, they are the perfect example how quickly they learn and they implement the changes. You know, that's the dynamism that keeps them as an election machinery a bit ahead of everybody else. So I think they will continue with that. They will continue as the status quo. Things are good, looking better for them. Whatever the blip in radar was gone. And those who are still thinking of doing a Dhaka or Colombo or Kathmandu in New Delhi, good luck to them. What can I say? I mean, Gen Z in India is happy buying iPhone. I'm sorry. It's not that. And if you see Gen Z as one block, I have to remind half of the Gen Z is also Modi's diehard fan. And half of the Gen Z now also, we have to remind ourselves every time, is also female. And that's the critical thing to keep on pinching ourselves. You know, whichever vote block you think of in India, whichever vote block, never talk about in one go. Oh, Yadav, half of that is female. Muslim, half of that is female. Brahmin, half of that is female. Low income, half of that is female. High income, half of that. Whatever you do, keep on pinching yourself. You are talking about one block. Half of that is female, and that is not going to vote like the males do. That's the end of the story.
Right. And I asked you about brand Modi. What does it mean for brand Modi? You know, the 2024 Lok Sabha elections, then as a series of assembly elections, as you pointed out, what does it mean for him?
Well, we are tracking, mood of the nation. India Today covers stories. Brand Modi is intact. Yes, there is slight dip, but I mean, after being so long in power, if somebody is maintaining 60% plus approval rating after this long being in power, that tells you a lot about the trustworthiness of that brand. The trustworthiness of that brand is so much that people even own up the failures of that brand, a shortcoming of that brand. So something like demonetization will fail, but people own up that failure. Something and a lesson for the opposition to learn, which most of the opposition parties, by the way, have learned very quickly, barring one national one. If you know that brand Modi is popular and trustworthy and that way, and you know you need a swing vote to win again, and that swing vote has a lot of brand Modi sympathizers, then the last thing you have to do is to attack personally against brand Modi. A
Right.
personal attack against him is not going to work for you. If that is something which other regional parties have, by the way, learned wonderfully, this is why when Mr. Modi goes to Tamil Nadu, Mr. Stalin is more than happy to receive him at the airport. No problem whatsoever. The kind of dogfight between TMC and BJP that we are witnessing, even after that, they are very much on the talking terms with each other, right? So and I seldom see any of these leaders attacking Modi the person individually. I don't see them attacking. Nobody does. So
Right.
that's a lesson to learn. If it is intact, you better move beyond that. Consider that it is intact, and what other thing you can. There are 100 zillion things to attack BJP and this government, and you can start anywhere, but in a much more stable way.
I was saying that many are also talking about the surprising inroads the NDA has made in traditionally opposition dominated Muslim constituencies.
Well, that is surprising for many, but not for anybody who was looking at the data. I remember that even in 2012 Assembly election of Gujarat, when I reported in my post-poll survey that every 1 in 4 Muslim has voted for the BJP, Mr. Modi, you know, I was told by one of my very senior typologist who is now a politician that जल में रह के मगर से कोई बैर नहीं करता. All right. Now, my question at that point was that the previous Bihar election to 2012, I think about 18 or 19% Muslims had voted for Nitish Kumar at that point of time. So my question was, if Narendra Modi is getting more Muslim votes in his state, and Nitish Kumar is getting lesser Muslim votes in his state, I don't you think that that calls for some more detailed analysis rather than simply saying "Jal mein reh ke magar se koi bair nahi karta." So that stereotyping is going to boomerang further. That Muslims will vote en bloc. There is no way there is any middle of the line Muslim voter. There are almost always hardline voter. They will hate Modi. They will defeat Modi. They will come out. Baba, it doesn't work that way. Yes, I understand BJP's Hindutva campaigns sometimes and big number of times with their stupid number of leaders goes beyond Islamophobia, and Muslim hatred. But at the same time, there are schemes and schemes and schemes which are benefiting the bottom of the pyramid, and that bottom of the pyramid includes the poor Muslim families. If they are getting benefited, at some point of time, someone among them is going to say, I got this thing. I am not discriminated to get a home. I am not discriminated to get my ration. I am not discriminated to get my loan. I am not discriminated against to get money on the direct cash transfer. So there would be at some point of time, the moment some non-BJP face is there upfront from the NDA, be it Chandrababu Naidu, be it Nitish Kumar, then there would be a very clear-cut solution out there that they are voting for NDA but not voting for BJP, you know.
Right.
And that's the buffer that has been created, while the opposition is still thinking just showing or just making them fear of the BJP or fear of Modi and Amit Shah is good enough to retain them. I think it needs a good look down on. How to analyze and how to understand. Things are not the same. Things are not
Right.
the same.
I'll just conclude with this question. I know there are multiple factors that would have contributed to the NDA's victory, but if you have to pin down one, what would it be?
I think female vote bank. At this point of time, this election is all about the arrival of female vote bank. I will not count the example of Jharkhand or Madhya Pradesh or Maharashtra, because it sounded more like a transactional scheme, because it sounded more like a one-time thing. There was no emotional connect of the leadership with the female vote, in that way. But this one is the definitive arrival of the female vote bank in India, where it is almost like a fixed deposit. They are not ungrateful. They know what you have done for them. They remember that, and they silently come out and vote how. They know what they mean. So that's the bottom line. If the future politician of India can understand from Nitish Kumar this particular side of it, can understand from Chandra Babu Naidu this side of it, and even understand from brand Narendra Modi how to accommodate these spaces where he is not doing that. There is no ego out there to win an election. If they can understand that there is no ego in winning the election, you have to put your ego aside and then fight an election and then win it. I think there are a lot of things to do, but this movement, take it, is the arrival of female vote bank. Indian politics will never be the same again.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Deshmukh, for your interesting analysis. Thank you so much for giving us your time.
Pleasure. Always a pleasure.